All right, we're going to switch gears, talk technology. Apple specifically. Apple really kind of a lot of expectations out there for a new tablet, improved iPhones. Let's talk more about this with Toni Sacconaghi. He's analyst over at Sanford C. Bernstein with his outlook for the company. Toni, welcome back to Bloomberg. Let's start with the tablet. I mean, does Apple really need to do this?
I don't think it needs to do it, but there's certainly a market opportunity between their $399 high-end iPod and their $999 existing notebook. So there's a space in between for consumers who are spending $500, $600, $700 on a PC that could fill an Apple product. And in a world of mobility, being able to take your content with you and see it in different places, there's a need that Apple can fill there.
What is the difference between this and the MacBook Air? I mean, they seem very similar, except for the fact that you have to open the Air.
Right. So the tablet we envision will be a 10-inch screen. The Air is a 13-inch screen. Ultimately, you will not have a keyboard on this, so this will be lighter. We don't know. The product hasn't been announced, but it'll probably be a pound and a half. Think a Kindle in terms of form factor, with it being all screen. And ultimately, this will be a device that will really be optimized for reading books, for viewing video, for listening to music, for web browsing. It'll be less about computing, which is something that the MacBook Air does, and it'll sell for a lot less. We believe it'll sell for under $1,000, more likely in the $750 range.
But it's a category, the tablet category, that hasn't done that well, correct?
Correct.
So it still nonetheless makes sense for Apple to go there.
Well, I think Apple's ambition is likely to create a new market. So existing tablet PCs today have not been successful, and a tablet today might be something that's defined as something that doesn't have a keyboard, and they're only selling about 1 million units for the entire market. That's not very big. Apple is all about trying to create new markets and paradigm shifts, much like it did with the iPhone. And I think there's a belief that if you have the right kind of software, that a device can allow you to have a mobile media experience would be highly valued.
So what they've done, like with the iPhone, I mean, create kind of new buzz around an existing product category. You think they can do that kind of equally with the tablet?
Yeah, it all comes down to what the product is. I mean, Apple introduced a product called Apple TV. Hasn't been all that successful.
I think it's safe to say it was a flop, right?
Yeah, ultimately, relative to Apple products, it was a flop. I think it was ahead of its time. But even the iPod in its first year sold 1 million units.
You got Apple TV?
My husband likes all these new gadgets. What can I tell you?
Let's talk about the iPhone. I mean, it's obviously the front runner for this kind of smartphone, but I was holding the Nexus 1 the other day. I wouldn't buy the Nexus 1 over the iPhone, but it looks better. It feels better in your hand. What changes are up for the iPhone?
Well, I think ultimately you're going to continue to see more functionality embedded in the iPhone, and you're going to see better screen resolution. So the Nexus 1 has a slightly larger screen, better viewing ability on that screen. I think you'll see Apple ultimately emulate that. But what I think we're going to see in handheld devices going forward is more functionality built in. So the camera will get better. It'll become a 5-megapixel camera. It will get a flash. We're going to see more we're going to see more processing power to be able to handle games, etc. So you're going to see more functionality, whether it be enhanced navigation, whether it be better gaming capability, whether it be better camera facilities, a better screen, will all continue to evolve. But the real key about Apple is the 100,000 plus applications that you can download that no other platform can emulate.
Toni, we've just got 20 seconds left. We got to ask just quickly about Steve Jobs. Still kind of the main force, the driving force behind their product development?
Yes, he's very involved in products, but I think at the same time he's created a followership and institutionalized creativity and new product development. So he's a big force, but he's not everything.
All right, good to know. Hey, Toni, thank you so much for finding some time for us. Toni Sacconaghi, everybody.